Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone today? Hopefully good. All right. So I couldn't come up with the best title, but um the theme of the title, like from the song A Whole New World, from Aladdin. And when I think of it too, because my husband he's from Pakistan and we met in Dubai. And we're the interracial couple relationship. So I thought, well, it's a whole new world for both of us. Me being a part of his world and him being part of my world. So I just thought it's best fitting for that. And so without further ado, if you can click on the next slide here. Yes. These are the pictures that I took and put them together. On the left, this was the beginning when we first met online. And yes, I've met him online. And I like to say that when we first met, he had broken English, but in time, he learned English pretty well, and his grammar got pretty good too. So I'm impressed with that. And this was back, we met in 2019, July 21st. So yeah, just I shared with some of the pictures. And if you can click the next. So my name is Lyvia Yvette Allison Bruno Rajput, and I am Indigenous First Nations of Plains Cree. My parents are Leo Edward Bruno and Roxanne Marlene Pegan. I have three sisters, older sisters, and two brothers, one older and one uh, the baby of the family. So I am the fifth youngest out of the six. I am from Musquecheese, Bear Hills. My hobbies are drawing, writing, beadwork, arts and crafts. My physical activities are swimming and walking. I love to read books, and my genres are mystery, romance, and sci-fi. I would like to make a note that I am an intergenerational trauma survivor, as both of my parents are the residential school survivors, and my mom, the 60 scoop survivor. Because of the circumstances of my upbringing, the English language is my dominant first language, and it is what my parents thought and believed having English as their children's survival of this modern world. You can click. And I had my husband sat down and to get from his point of view. And this is key what he wrote. His My name is Amir Raza Rajput, and I am from Pakistan, Patan, Punjab. Did I say that right? I am the firstborn eldest son of Ghulam Mohammed and Salam Rajput. I have four brothers and three sisters. Our family background is pure Rajput profession, agriculture, farm work, and goldsmith. My father's side is the landlord, and my mother's side is goldsmith. I speak four languages: Urdu, Punjabi, Sindhi, English, and somewhat Arabic. My education is high school completed. However, I understand our Pakistan education system is far different than the North American education system. I am a father of four children, two daughters and two sons, from my ex-wife. I am still learning the English language and grasping the English comprehension, so it is taking time for me to grasp and understand the English modern Western world society. I'm a multitasker, and with my gifts and abilities, I can do the food cooking and preparations only on Indian cuisines. I also have some computer knowledge and jewelry goldsmith business. On that note, he knows more with using the phone than I do, especially with the baking app. So I let him take over with things when it comes to our finances and bills. So yeah. You can click next. So I took the pictures, well, from Google. These are what, what Pakistani cuisines kind of look like, especially when there's uh paratha, which there's two different things, paratha and roti. It kind of looks like what's it called? Like a wrap tortilla. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sorry. It's really, really good. And my husband went like he just took over the cooking in the kitchen, and I didn't think he would cook, but he really impressed me with the many dishes that, he had back at home. And my kitchen smells like really excellent. The spices, it's just authentic. The aroma is just exquisite, and I cannot express it in words on how delicious, it smells, and the food. It is spicy, but it's really incredible, and I really do appreciate and love, my husband's cooking. And right here, this is where on the map with where the Pakistan is located, as you see right there. You can click on the next slide. And this is from my husband again. There is a four season in Pakistan: winter, summer, spring, and autumn. There are four languages in Pakistan. Within the four provinces, Sindhi, the Sindh province, Punjabi and Punjab province, Balochi for Balochistan province. That is Sahad province, which speaks Pashto language. Um, I am a Muslim, and my culture allows women to wear the hijab when to go out in public, and they are to accompanied by either a male relative like father, brother, cousins, or the husband. A woman is not allowed to go alone by herself, as it's considered not following the Islam. Man is allowed to marry with four wives according to Islamic law. However, in these times that we live in, a man can have one wife due to mainly financial reasons and justice for each. We pray 5 times a day, and we cannot miss a prayer for any excuse unless there is a good reason. We don't celebrate birthdays because it's against Islam. However, we don't say no when it comes to gifts, presents when we receive them. So, on that note, I have friends who are Islam, and I heard good feedback that they do love Christmas, and it's the fact of it's that magical enchantment and the joy and the positive like it brings, and they like that. And when it comes to gifts, like it's stated, they don't say no when it comes to receiving gifts. So that is okay. And one of my husband's relative, he came over on Christmas Day in Dubai, and he got me a Christmas gift, which is these mugs that he specially made of with the pictures of me and my husband on our wedding day. And I was so stoked and so happy. And not only that, the mugs that he specially got them made, he got chocolates and even these packets of coffee stuff. I was like, oh my God. And he goes, well, here you go. Merry Christmas. I was like, oh, thank you. So, I was really thankful to him, and it was just awesome. So if you can click on the next slide. And again, this is from my husband. In Pakistan, typically there is no proper electricity and telecommunications like internet and phone services. Um, During the time, like when we were talking online, um, there were so many times of connection issues where he gets cut off, and then, he tries to get back on. And the power would come off. Sometimes it will go off for hours and it really sucks. And I guess it's just the norm that way over there. So between with electricity and connections, it's like an issue. But the medical hospital systems are pretty good as a patient is seen right away, including in the middle of the night. The doctors have no issues. And this is what he talks about. One thing that he noticed when he was here is that the health system, where we have to wait for, doctor that are available, or or most of the times that the clinics are booked. He was really shocked by that. And when we were in Dubai, I go to the Aster Clinic, and they would see me right away, and everything will be done within 1 hour or so. And depending on the lab work too. If the lab work are not done, they we would be told, come in tomorrow, the next day. So that's what we do, and get the results from there. And they're really, really articulate when it comes to their lab work. They'll say, oh, you're low on certain vitamins, vitamin E, vitamin D or B12. And in my case, it was vitamin, D and B12. So they would prescribe me the medication for it. If there's that, or you can even get, an IV, either way. So, but over there in Dubai, I was pretty impressed. And, I was really thankful with their, seeing a doctor and stuff. However, I could not get a, health insurance because it's like a yearly type of thing where, it would cost 8,000 dirhams. And I think that's like almost 3,000, I think. I'm not too sure. I just have to check on it and Google it. But anywho, and because I wasn't gonna stay for that long anyways, I'm just like, well, I have the money for it, so you know, I just have to, budget with my money. But I did have the money to pay for my health when I was over there. To visit the doctor, it would be around. I find that in the mornings it would be like 180 dirhams. So about maybe hmm, about $100 or so, somewhere to that effect, I'm guessing. And that would be in the morning, but in the evening it would go up to like 300 and something dirhams. So, and that's not including with getting the prescription. Like that is, you know, that's different and on its own. So, in between, I'm usually paying about maybe 400 or something like that for each visit with the medication if given. So, I don't know how many times I went to Esther Clinic, but in around February, I was sick twice. So, I don't know if I had caught COVID at the time. I didn't get any test result, but I had a bad wicked flu. And I went and bought myself teas, and they gave me, pharmacists would also would suggest me little things here and there, and I would pay a little extra for it. So that's like another, I'm just gonna say another extra 100 dirhams or so. But that's just the way how things are and work over there in Dubai. So, but in any cases, in between Dubai, Pakistan, India, in that whole continent, Saudi Arabia, their their healthcare system, like, you know, humanity comes first. So you get seen right away and there'd be no issue. So that is something that I truly admired about. So I wish there was something like that here in Canada. I wish they could learn from that or something. But yeah. Um, let's see. Oh, So with oh can you go back to the slide again? To the previous one? Um I was gonna say to oh, he also said we have animal buffaloes, which is quite famous to get milk, which everyone likes, and that's their preference. They don't drink cow's milk, so that's just well, it says that's our preference. And it is hard to explain about the justice system that is far different from the Canadian justice system. Unfortunately, this is him. I'm apologizing to say about our politics system is not the greatest. The weather is quite hotter than Canadian weather, as sometimes it can reach to 50 degrees. In winter, the maximum temperature is at least 10 degrees. Storm months happens in the month of June and July. In Urdu, it's called monsoon. Money currencies are called rupees. My wife said she learned from the video game called Legend of Zelda. Because it's true, like that is something that, it's on there on a video game. And when I told him this, he was like, "What?" He was surprised. Oh, okay, you can click on the next. So Pakistani foods are quite delicious, but also spicy. Everything is spicy. Having a housemate is quite common in Pakistan. So yeah, we had discussion about this, whereas his family have their own housemaid in the house. And I was quite impressed and, fascinated. It's like, you got a housemaid? Oh my gosh. Over here, that's only for the rich people. Only they would get it. So, but it's, again, it's common in Pakistan. Motorbikes are quite common than using cars and no one wearing helmets or any proper safe gear. And it's true. Everywhere you go, and he even showed me, through pictures and video calls, FaceTime, people have bikes and, there's no helmets or anything like that. I was like, wow. And yeah, which it says on here, which I found out from my Canadian wife, chicken biryani is quite common. Yeah, so on the bottom on the right, I try to look something similar that looks like a chicken biryani. So this is what it looks like. And it's really good. I tried some different biryani in Dubai. Some of them are spicy but it's really good, and sometimes they make this special yogurt, um, dipping, or I wouldn't say dipping, I would say this sauce that you can use it. It's like mint. I can't remember what it's called. But anywho, it comes with a dish and it comes with naan, sometimes with roti, depending on, your choice. So yeah, and you can click on the next. So these are again the pictures of what I had took, about us again during the early years. And yeah, so you can click on with the next. So in July 21, 2019, we both met online, and Amir was the first person to reach out to say hello. He had broken English and he was a shy boy, but little did I know that my life would change from that day. We spoke every day, and each day we were getting to know each other more and more. Amir was learning English and at the same time learning about our cultures and sharing our experiences. For over 5 years and a half, we've been inseparable ever since. On the start of 2022, we had decided to make plans to meet, and over the next year of November 2023, I took the leap of meeting with my future husband in Dubai. With my now husband, as as an Indigenous First Nations that never crossed overseas before in her life, it was pretty scary, but at the same time exciting because this was something that I had always wanted to do. What was I had always wanted to do and to travel all over the world. But you got to start from somewhere. So that was my thinking. Got to start from somewhere, right? And you can click on the next. These are the pictures that I took in Dubai. They're on the left. You can see this was the Burj Khalifa. That is like, apartments and I think some stores inside. It's really expensive to get in. It's like 700, 800 dirhams per person and just to get in and check it out. And by all means, me and Amir wanted to go in there, but we're like, is it worth it? I don't know. But there was a long lineup. We're like, we don't have that patience for that. So we just left it at that. Would have been something, but again, the time, the money for it, it was like, But it was right beside the famous Dubai Mall, and oh my gosh, it's pretty big than West Edmonton Mall. It has like 3 or 4 floors, I think, like real big. And I gotta say, it's expensive. And on that note, in Dubai, it's really expensive. And I think it had to do with that it's a tax-free country. I think little things like that, I think it just makes up for the tax-free part. On the top, we went to that convention center. It was the time when the prime minister and everyone came. It was that environmental convention. And we went to go check it out, but we missed, all the good stuff, and I didn't get to see anybody. And I heard that there was indigenous people there, but we missed out like a lot of stuff. So we just went and check out and explore. It was nice, lots of opportunities and ideas about, you know, um, caring for the planet and new inventions and ideas and businesses. Like it was awesome. But to our surprise, when we had to leave, the taxi cab fares, they changed their prices up higher that night, and it freaked both of us out. So when we got there, like we paid, little, like maybe it was like about an hour from where we were staying in International City. And so, but when we had to get back, it was too expensive to ride the cab because they were charging about 300. And if we were to come back, it would be like 600, 700 for, the taxi fare just for 1 hour. And that was too much for us. We're like, no. So we ended up walking to a metro train, and I didn't mind the walk anyway. So we rode on it, and it took about an hour and a half. Like it was cheaper, but it took about an hour and a half, heading back home. And then plus with the taxi cab that costed about maybe 70 dirhams, at the end. And we're like, okay, that was pretty expensive. So that was just a one-time thing that we would ever do. And but yeah, but only locally we would pay about 70 dirhams, locally around when it comes to exploring and shopping and whatnot. On the bottom, I took the picture of the famous picture frame. It was really incredible. You can go inside, and there's a restaurant there, and you know, it's just another tourist attraction. I didn't get to go because there's always lineups. And that's the thing about, with Dubai is that there's always lineups everywhere. And it was heavily packed, heavily crowded. It's really insane. Like you think, if you went to West End, you think that's crowded? That is nothing. Over there, it's beyond incredible. Like, if you're the type of person that get anxiety when it comes to crowd, this is not a place for you. So I'm just saying. On the right here, I took a picture of this. This was like at the Dragon Mart. It was right next to the International City. And Dragon Mart, there's part one and part two. and I like it. It's really close by, and I pick up, food and some little groceries here and there. Kind of reminds me of like Red Deer malls or something like that, as the way as I put it. And the marketplace over there, it's incredible. But when it comes to people who are selling in the marketplace, they're really aggressive. Um, they would really push you and say, look, I'll give you a good deal. Here's this, here's that, come on, this is for your wife and whatnot. And so I was like, okay, no, that's okay. And I had this one female, she come and grab me, she grabbed my wrist and she put on this product on me. I was like, what the heck? And she goes, here, look at this product. This makes your skin look very smooth and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, no, that's okay. But then my husband, without thinking, he starts making deals. And that's another thing, you can make deals when you're over there. And it's a common practice. And when he says, how much? I was like, no. It was funny. I just wanted to smack it right there. But anywho, um, we got, a product from her and then we just left it from there. But other than that, it's quite interesting, to see and explore, when it comes to shopping and whatnot. So, but yeah, and if you can click on the next one. So, on the left, this is what the food that we had, and I think it was just a white chicken with roti, and there was salad, and I believe this was kind of a little spicy for me. I just, I had some, but when it comes to spices, it's a little bit too much. And on the middle, the houses that when we're passing through the neighborhood, they look so incredible. It's kind of remind me of in California, the Hollywood show homes or something. It's really incredible, and but they look, I don't know how to explain the architecture. It's like long and lean, like skinny, and everyone had their own gates and stuff. But just the how it was designed, it was just incredible. And unlike here where our designs, yeah, there are some bricks here and there, made of clay and stuff, or well, the majority of cases, our homes are made of wood and whatnot. Each of these buildings are crafted by hand, um, with the construction of building a home. And when we were living in our apartment, everything was just, solid, you know, clay, and it didn't even look it, but everything was just made that way. So I don't know if it's just me, but it's something that's very unique and very new and, quite fascinating to me. And you can honestly can't hear anybody, like honestly. But here, like, here and back at home, you can honestly hear footsteps and whatnot. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. And I believe on the next picture here, we were going through the Marina Beach. That's the common place for other races that, they live there, especially in the UK. The UK people are living there. And that's where we did gone to the Marina Beach, and it was so incredible. That's where they had that big, huge Ferris wheel. If you Google Dubai, if you see that Ferris wheel that's by the beach, that's the Marina Beach. And it was really amazing. I did go for a swim, however. I almost drowned because the sand, I was sinking in the sand, like in a little, when the water doesn't look deep. And the waves were just coming. And my husband, he really warned me. He's like, no, you don't go in there. And I was like, why? It's fun. And here the sands like was sinking my feet all the way in. And here the water was crashing me and I fell. And here um I tried to get up, but I couldn't, and it was so embarrassing. And my husband just grabbed my hand and pulled me out. He goes, see, that's what I was trying to tell you. And I go, well, now I know. So silly me. I had to learn the hard way. But you saved my life and it was funny. I had sand all over me and it was sticking. And I think it was salt too. So I had to go and wash up, but still, it was hard to wash it off. But like this was the ocean. And so like it was really salty, the water, and I just couldn't believe it. But my dream was to touch the ocean. So I did that, but in this silly, unfortunate type of way. But yeah, and if you can click on the next slide. So again, right there, that on the left, that is nearby. That is where it's at the Dubai Mall, where that famous fountain where they do the fountain waterworks display. And again, if you Google Dubai and you see, or if you look for Dubai in TikTok, they will show the famous dancing water fountain, and it's just right there. And if you can see the fence, because that's where I was at. And timing, it shows the timing when it will start, but when it does, again, it gets overcrowded and it's nuts. And in the middle, this was at the Global Village. Um, my husband's friend took us to the Global Village. It was 27 dirhams per person. And it's like, you know, places all around the world. And I was like hoping, yeah, I probably can see where, my native land. But I was kind of sad because um they didn't show anything of that. They just showed Mexico and then another state. And I was like, okay, okay, I understand that. So, but on that note, actually, when I interact with people over there, everyone thought I was a Filipino. And when they heard me speak, they're like, "What are you?" And I go, "Uh, I'm English, Indigenous First Nation." "What's that?" And I go, "You don't know what First Nations are?" They're like, "No." And I try to explain to them, well, it's over in North America. I'm from Canada. And they're like, "Oh, okay." It's like that's so new to them. They don't know anything about Indigenous First Nations, from North America. And I find it's not just one or few people. There's like a lot of people they don't know. And this is from my experience. So I was like, wow, that's incredible. But then I guess it's just depending on the location. Because I remember there was an event where there was indigenous people that came to Abu Dhabi. It was an event, I forgot what it's called. I was gonna go, but I didn't go. There was something that happened that day. But in any other cases, it's just to my surprise. And if you can click on to the next slide. So again, that's on the left. It's that convention that we went to. This is the middle of the global village, and I actually bought abayas, which is the a long one piece dress. I would say dress. What for cover-ups, what ladies wear, and I can't really describe it, but it's just a long dress. And I bought abayas that's fully loaded with rhinestones and crystals. And I got it for, a good deal, thanks to my husband, and even scarves at that too. And I actually do miss it over there. They even had rides, and we were gonna go check it out, but my husband was like, "No, no, no, no," because he was too scared. And on the right, you can see that is what it's called, the future. Uh, I don't know if I'm saying it right. The future of tomorrow, the future museum, where this is where the technologies were. Everything is brand new. They show new stuff, new inventions, and we did go inside, but again, it was overcrowded. And right beside it was a government, a mall, and also where the Canadian embassy is at. It's right next door there. And I even took a video where Amir was buying an ice cream. It shows this robot hand was making it. So it was really cool. I even did posted it on Facebook, but yeah. So it was really good, and I wish you could see it, but I thought maybe next time. So these are the jewelries that I thought I, took pictures of what it looks like in the market. Again with the global village that we were going. And there's me checking out with the scarves right there with rhinestones. That particular piece I had to get to my mom because she said, I wanted it. I was like, okay. So, and this is chai. And I remember from the trailer of Spider-Man, I like chai tea. What? You don't say chai tea. It's like you're saying tea tea. And I had to ask my husband that, and he goes, yeah, it's true. I was like, oh. So we just say chai, and it's really good. Um, my husband got me hooked onto that, and I was like, is that only the cups they could sell? Is this a small size? And he's like, yep, just for 1 dirham. And I was like, okay. So whenever he goes and gets chai, I said, get me two. And he's like, okay. But they're really good. But I think that's how I've been gaining weight is because of having so much chai and stuff. So, but yeah. And this one, I just took a picture of this building when we were going for a drive that day, and the sky and the view is just, oh my God, it was heavenly. And we click on the next page. Oh, this is when we went to the old Dubai, where the famous for marketplace and stuff. And I took a picture of this, and I'm sorry I can't even, you know, read without my glasses. And this part right here was the last piece of the old Dubai. And I thought this is so cool, so I took a picture of it. And dude, I was trying to look for that picture. I just couldn't find it. It's still on my phone, but this is what I had to grab. And it would I felt like I was taken back in time, visiting the old Dubai, the way it looks and, following the streets. And in a way I kind of felt like I was in the movie of Aladdin and, the marketplace area. So but that's what it felt like to me. And if you can click next. So this is what the abayas look like. So as you see, I had a pink and I had a silver gray. On the left, I was riding on a boat. It was a gift present from Amir's friend. Actually, he's preferred to my brother. Um, he took us to a boat ride, a dinner and a boat ride, and there was entertainment. And the boat ride was 2 hours long. And we were late. As a result, we had to ride on a small boat to get onto the big boat there. And it was also my first time riding on a boat. So that was cool. And the night was amazing. Entertainment, the music was loud. The only thing that I was kind of disappointed was the food. Um, it's just, I don't know, it just wasn't that great. Like, it just wasn't great. Like, I'm sorry to say. And on the table, it says, don't waste food. And I was like, okay. Um, it's kind of funny when they put it, don't waste food. I think, I don't know, I don't know how they cook their food or they just warm it up or something. I think they just warmed it up anyway. So, um, I'd say be wary when it comes to, for places like this for a boat ride with entertainment. Every places like that are different, but I guess maybe it was like an unfortunate night for me to go on that night. I'm not too sure. Like I'm just saying, not everything is like that over there. So just to let you guys know. And on the right, this is on our wedding day, which is on December 13th, 2023, over in Abu Dhabi Justice Family Court. So we took a picture of this and yeah. And you can click on the next screen. So there's our pictures on our wedding day. And on the right, we went to the Grand Mosque and it was huge. Um, it's kind of like, one of the must places you must go to check out is the Grand Mosque. And the thing is, when you're gonna go, there is a mall over there, and you have to go online to book to go on a tour, which is what we did. Everything is just fast and simple and easy that way. But it was huge and it was really, really incredible. And the stone, the marble, the gold, it was wow. And um I have to say, okay, for one side in the building, there would be for men, and the other side would be for women. So when you're gonna go to the washroom, it's way on the other side, and it's like a walking distance. But what's incredible is the washrooms. Like there's like it's a place too. It looks like a grand fountain. I don't know how to say. It's like it's so big and so grand and so elegant and so bougie. It's just wicked, like the bathrooms and how it was decorated and how it was designed, especially for like there's sitting toilets, but there's also one section where there's no sitting toilets where you have to squat down. And then there's a fountain and then there's showers where we wash. This is for Islam for those, I can't find the word where it's, washing your feet, washing your hands. It's cleansing yourself before you are praying. So, and that's the thing in Islam is that, you have everything washed and be clean before prayer. So that's why the washrooms or these places are designed like that. And so I wanted to take a picture, but it says on a big sign, no taking pictures. I was like, okay. So, but yeah. And I don't know if this is the last slide. I'm not too sure.
Yes, Livia, that was the last slide.
Okay.
So thank you for presenting. Julia, Kendra, Eva, you're welcome to ask questions if you like. I'm Manisha. I'm at the NCC college right now over here. Along with me, Natalie is there too, along with me.
Okay.
So, uh, so Livia, tell us about, did you, in this cultural fusion, what tensions did you feel? Forget the food, not the food part, but just people, like, people thought you were from Philippines.
Mm, the tension, like, what do you like? Sorry, can
Any
you repeat the
cultural,
question?
like anything about that was like, oh, it's different, oh, it's new,
Oh,
like it's another way of doing it. How many O's you have?
it's different. To from my experience, when it comes to space, people don't, when it comes to spacing and crowds, people they just don't have the boundaries for it. They just rub onto you and stuff like that. And I noticed that when I don't wear the hijab, I get treated differently. Well, I still get treated good, but I still get treated differently. But when I wear the hijab, I get treated with like royalty, which is, something. And I thought, okay, I get it. So there's that. And the laws there, like in Dubai, for example, public display affection is not allowed. So say what?
Uh, no worries. I just had another student come in, and they're just fascinated by your presentation.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Thanks.
so it was their
So,
phone
and
going. Today is a lucky day. That was their phone message.
okay.
Okay, so
Plus,
wearing clothes like abaya, um, why is it like that? Why do you think the dress matters?
oh, it matters because it's an Islamic country. Yes, it's for welcoming other people, of all people, of all other races. Yes, in Dubai they want to do that. It's also for business too at that. But at the same time, it is mainly an Islamic country. So it's like the saying goes, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. You always follow that rule. So you have to dress conservatively, the least, like what I'm wearing right now, showing the shoulders and stuff is a no. And then short dresses is a no. And like if you wear leggings, that's fine. And a t-shirt, that's fine. You know, you can still if because I got married, I had to show my respect, to my husband and um plus I get more, respect that way too. And because I had to wear it and I had to, just follow with the rules. But um you can still wear your hair down. Like women are treated with respect over there. It just that's what it's different when depending where you're going. But the majority cases it's all welcoming and you don't have to cover up or anything, but you just have to dress conservatively. And if you're going, and it will say that at the malls and places too, there'll be a sign that says, please dress assertively accordingly. It will say that on there. And it's kind of funny when rules are set up, but sometimes some people don't follow the rules anyway. And, you know, because Dubai is making money and money is such, a big thing. So, and it's a tourist attraction too. So they do their best, to bring in that balance. And you know, the only thing is like I don't like the only thing every place, every country has its own their own downside. So, for example, like I don't mean to say this, but when building the Burj Khalifa, my husband was saying that, over about 2,000 people died creating that building. I was like, what? And then the immigration, for example, people, especially like from Pakistan, from India, they come over to, immigrate in Dubai and hoping to go off to the UK or United States or Canada, you know. The only thing is, the downside of it when it comes to Dubai is that people are not, quite honest. And when it comes to money, so I guess that old world, I call it, is still practiced, bribery and, you know, those kind of things. It's still practiced. And this was something that I had learned when I was in Dubai, and it kind of freaked me out. So, but I had my husband to look out for me, and, you know, and especially when they hear that I'm Canadian. But when they hear that I'm Canadian, they think, oh my gosh, she's the richest woman in the world, you know, or Canadians are considered the richest people in the world. And I was like, that's not the truth. I'm just indigenous. I'm not rich, you know. But in any other cases, there's a bit of misconceptions, and then there's that practice of, the bribery, and then people who are not honest. But when people see you as honest, the genuine people, like those are your people, that you can count on. And let's see. So you just have to be careful on that. I did thought about that movie, Sex in the City, where they went over there. Um, I think that was kind of, pretty much a misconception in a way. And but it's true what that lawyer, what she said, like, when you're traveling to a different country, always do your research. Most definitely follow that rule is do your research when you're going to a different country. Find out the policies, like what the society is like, and always obey the rules. And as the saying goes, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. And other than that, don't look at the negative side of things. Look in just balanced it out. Um, just be positive, and just have yourself a good time. And yeah, just be careful just with following the rules part. So that makes sense.
So, Olivia, now you and your
Yeah, now.
husband, you are here in Canada, and you're married to not an indigenous First Nation person. He's Mr. Rajput from Pakistan, you know. So
Yeah.
what do you find now? You're a married woman married to an Asian, and you live in Wetaskiwin. How does it feel? Because it's cultural fusion. How do you live place? Dubai was a different experience. Now you both are here in Canada.
Well, you know what? I never thought I would see myself getting married. I'm gonna say on that note, in the beginning, I didn't want to get married because I felt what I thought of it is like, no, it's too overhyped for me. No, it's not for me, that type of thing. But with Amir, it's been different. I was actually mean to him in the beginning, but I was defending myself as a woman, right? And he had this most incredible patience with me. He's like, okay, okay, she's mad, she's angry. Okay, just give her a step back and talk about her day. So, but going back to the cultural difference between he and I, there is a lot of difference. So, for example, he lives in a man's world, right? I, as an indigenous woman, because I came from, strong indigenous women, especially from my ancestors, I take it myself, like I have like a male role inside of me. So, you know, it's kind of a challenging because we kind of like, you know, I wouldn't say headbutt, but I guess I should say like we headbutt when it comes to that. But he was surprised, and I think it fascinates him because he never dealt with a woman who's like that. And and he's like, he's just quite fascinated. Like this is like a newly fascinating challenge for him. And when it comes to things that I don't like or that I disagreed on, I would tell him that. And I said, this is not what we do here. I said, I'm sorry, this is not what we do here. And I would explain why. And he would listen, he'd be like, okay. And then he would share his side, like, well, this is because I grew up and this is what we did. And I was like, okay, I get that. I understand that. You know, like that's just who he is and how, like, this is where he came from. And we both respect each other of our cultural differences and our ways. We do not push each other, we do not force each other, to change. Like, for example, I encourage him to keep praying and go to the mosque and, to practice with his prayers. And then, of course, when we have couples, of course, every couples have arguments. It's natural, right? So, I would say supportive things to him that's based from, from the Quran and, this is what Allah would say or would want and what your parents would think and what they want and, and stuff like that. Or when he's having anxiety, he didn't know what's anxiety is until when I taught him and then what the doctors had agreed on saying, yes, I think this is what you have is anxiety. But so, and anywho, we support each other and it's still an ongoing thing, we're learning. This is our journey now. And me being in a married life, um, it's different. And you know what? I'm always on my own and I always do a lot for myself. And it's always had been. But now I have that support and also the physical support when, I need help with things like chores or carrying the groceries, just these things like that. It takes a lot of load off from me, and I really am thankful for that. And I didn't realize how much of a help that I need, you know, because of my husband. And he has done a lot for me, and I'm always forever thankful and totally grateful for everything that he has done. And now we're doing a process of working with changing the visa so he can get a work permit. And for the meantime, because I know when he got here that I'm still have to continue to be the breadwinner. And that's another thing too, another cultural shock is that for him, men always be the provider, not the woman. But now over here, he even talks about it, he goes, now you're the provider and I'm just a stay-at-home kind of wife. And I was like, I know. And he laughed and he chuckled. He goes, it's just wow. So there's that because the men always done everything and the woman, you know, people are different over there. Like women can do something, like, everybody is different and unique. It's not always where the women have to stay at home, and be the housewife and stuff. She can do, a lot in certain things. And it's just everybody's different, unique, and it's actually based on, their home environmental background and their dynamics. So, like again, everybody is different. So with Amir, like he's open-minded and he understands about, the difference culture in this world. And the thing what we agreed on is that we're both pretty similar, um, like, with our culture. Like everything is the same, but it's different, like in a different wording, in a different setting, but it's similar. Like, in Islam, it's, they're spiritual. You know, why they have to clean is because they want to be clean and, for respect and showing Allah. And with the book, the Quran, it has to be in a certain place where it shouldn't be where in a place where it's dirty, or it should not be like say for in a bathroom and stuff. And whereas with our sweet grass, it has to be, you know, same thing in a clear, area and a respectful area. And it cannot be in a place where it's dirty or, some things like that. And oh geez, it was in the tip of my head. But it's like that. It's similar like that. And respecting our elders, that's the same for him. And let's see. Oh my goodness. I knew I should have took some notes down on this, but I hope that
But
it just
thank
makes
you.
sense.
I love every word you're saying. It's so empowering to listen to you because you are living your dream and you're living the reality. Multiple cultures. We're all different, but we are so same. You know,
Hmm.
I love your words. And I want to give
Yeah,
opportunity
I'll
to Eva to ask questions.
yeah.